whatever you do in this, you have patience. You have patience, you will be educated, re-educated, and re-educated. And you'll be, not that you want to be right all the time, but on this heavy stuff, you want to be correct. And you hold off so long that you learn internal patterns of behavior. That if you said something every time they did something, you wouldn't get the whole pattern after you, when you hold on a year, 5 years, 30 years, 35 years, you get the patterns of behavior down pat. And that's a saving force. Anyway, we out there. Sure you want to eat that? I said, why, sure. In fact, I ate more. Give me that salad. Just to have fun. Because we're in a situation right now to where it came to a point that we say, y'all can go and stop playing with a nigga now. Because that stuff is over. It don't work. It didn't work. It ain't never worked. And then sometime you point out their behavior. That's why all this stuff is going on here in America. That's why they wanted me to have a certain attitude. Black Lives Matter. I said Black Lives Matter my behind. And they sent somebody over there, y'all might not have seen them, but they sent somebody over here and we talked for hours over in the little park. In the park, you drive through the little park over there.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, with the gardens over here.
Yeah.
And then you drive on down, and there's some places where they picnic. We parked right there.
Yeah.
We stayed there for hours, taking notes. But Imam Musa, haven't they? I said, they have nothing. Went on back home. Because they didn't have, remember the stuff that was ever happening here? I'm on TV, up to that. Yeah. And I'm saying, thank Allah for the Iranian spirit and the people. And they didn't want to hear that. That's why I said it first, right away. First thing I always say. No, because, look, they're handkerchief-headed Iranians. They're against Velayat Faqih. They hate it. That's why, and then the government and them, because I was telling the government right over there, I said, man, don't you, y'all's people. And he was looking, he may not have really known about which Iranians is what. I told that guy, I said, man, that's your people. That's your people, homeboy. That's it. Anyway, the title and the subject, let me see, what was it? Strategic Manipulators, right?
Yep.
All right. We become good at that. Before Abdul Malik and Hashim. Now, it's my family. They've been doing it. But they take the family and they separate. You might not have been able to pick it up, or you might not pay much attention to my attitude the last few days. Hey, what you got to say there? All that stuff. Because they are in a pickle. All boss man's in a pickle. They want me to either hurry up out there and do this. Whatever they want, I'll get out there when I want to get out there. Anybody that think that they're gonna, I'm gonna zip up and go crazy about taxes, excuse the expression, they're a damn fool. We'll pay whatever taxes we can next week, by the 31st, and after that, we just pay a higher tax, right? We just go down during Ramadan, right? Instead of having food, we may go and have some food. We don't want to punish people. We just go and go to whoever's open during Ramadan. We're gonna go over and over and over again. We're gonna raise the money, and after that, we'll just go to. We're not gonna lose focus. I'd like to slow down just a minute and go deal with this point of focus. If y'all remember last year we're gonna travel, we're gonna go, and I talked about Pennsylvania, and William Penn got a script from the English government to start his whole colony, and we're gonna talk to people about moving to the countryside, and that. Okay, that's not right now. Things are moving too fast. You know what I mean? Things have already passed that out of the way. So I don't want nobody to think that, we're moving so fast. No, it's reprioritizing. There's certain things we can do, and we're going to do those. And we're not going to try to do all the other stuff. Like usually, we used to be able to raise funds for on Eid, the Eids, and that would help us with whatever we was doing, and we'd always have a reserve. We had rents, we had this. Okay, we don't have that now. So what we're doing is we're going back to our original behavior that we had in the very beginning, and that's a lot of fun. And that's for this period. For the next year or two, we're not going to be stuck in that. Right? But we're going to physically raise. Remember, they took our money. At my house, they stole my dear family. They're nice people. But you got to look at, if the leader is second in command under Abdul Malik, that means those people are treacherous. I can't. They are treacherous, man. They don't. If you're not strong, they'll cut them niggas. I love them. So when I said them niggas, I'm just using a frame. Look, they'll take your money because they have a camera in there and they see where you put your money in, and if you give family members and say, you hold this for me, because they're taking my money out there, they'll take that. They just take it. If you have daughters, they'll do it and they'll hit why. We want to keep you alive. See, girls is different than boys, or the level of commitment. For the lady to live and to survive. That's the mother spirit. You want the baby, her, they want, you know what I mean? That's their job, right? Continuity in the race, the group, right? That's their job, is to carry it on, right? We may procreate it, but it's in them and they're gonna carry it on, right? So if all of us got wiped out and all of them are pregnant, they're still going to have a lot of boys. They can all, little kids, get married and then propagate the thing. Okay? And then how you look at what you're doing. Y'all could figure it out. One of my great friends, I was visiting him. He was up in New York, big shot up there. He said, man, yeah, when I got in the car the other day, I was driving, and the back wheel came off. Same thing happened in my car. In fact, I was going to see the chief. I was driving, but I had a little light car. I had a Fiat station wagon, 1973. And it was remodeled, the Turkish brothers remodeled it, and they gave it to me. They tried to give me a BMW. I said, I ain't taking that. It's a nice little BMW, but I said, I ain't taking that. Because I didn't want people to think that that's what, I didn't want no association with it because I didn't want people to get the wrong idea, you know, so I ain't taking that. Probably, I'm sure there's a better car. But anyway, so that's the car that I had. That's the car that I drove. Okay, in that car was encapsulated a lot of the ideas and a lot of the reality of what we was doing. Okay. So now, strategic manipulators. Abdul Malik, Sister Bahia, and all of them have always been the police. And when did I know it? The day they got there. Why? Because they came from, Sister Bahia came from Kwame Ture. Her husband at that time was in the military. What are they doing in the military? Kwame Ture, all African Revolutionary People's Party, right? What are they doing? He did all the running for Kwame Ture. So that's the best place to put her. And I imagine that all of her friends that was with them, they was police too. So Abdul Malik is out there, and he disconnects her with them. This is the place to be. And he made the right decision. This is a movement. Kwame and them, that ain't it. The guy smokes weed, the guy do this. This guy here is the real deal. That's what he's telling her. And all of a sudden, they got to change, change the slip to go, to a new assignment. That's exactly what happened. Okay, the thing about them is, when I told Abdul Malik in 87 or something, that he was the police, I told him face to face, I said, no man, you're just the police. I said, here's what you can do though. I said, what I would like for you to do is just a little wink and a nod, get your money. That's exactly what I told him. And, he didn't do that. It got to a time within a year or two, he must have thought I forgot that. They gave him all the young foreigners, and he pictured himself important. When we'd be driving down the street, I'd be talking to him. I was looking ahead, I was looking straight in his eyes. He was looking up at me like this. And peripheral vision. Hey, I was looking straight at him all the time. He never got, look, the best thing I can put it this way is they are amateurs. I've been through stuff all my life, and my life is, not in danger, but, and they coming out of school. How are they going to be anywhere equal? And he's telling me in 83, see, you got to think like a pimp. He done read Iceberg Slim. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Iceberg Slim. Iceberg Slim is to the books, Iceberg Slim's supposed to be a pimp in those days. And this is how you turn a woman out, open her legs, and whoop her with something. Ironing cord or coat hanger, all that stuff. That was Iceberg Slim. Now, all my friends was pimps and everything. And they didn't actually do that. But he thought they did. And I was trying to tell him, see, he's a Muslim, and he's telling me, see, he don't know the game. He's in school. Where are you gonna get the game? Either I'm in the game or I do that, whatever he's talking about. And he's an amateur. Technically, he's a schoolboy. That's why the girl could run him crazy. If you a bad nigga, you can run a woman crazy, but she can't run you crazy. No, absolutely not. I mean, that's a mean lifestyle. But I'm saying, that don't work. if you was in the game and they found out you was love struck and you just, the girl run you, they said, nigga, this is the pimpin', here come a popcorn Kool-Aid pimp nigga. This nigga here is love struck. He's a broken-hearted, this is a broken-hearted pimp, right? That's what they would call it. They would make fun of him. Okay, let me get on, speed up. I want to jump from the people that were surrounding me. We dealt with them for decades. My family, right down there. The boys in my family. The two boys, I told them you can do what you want because you'd already, after a couple of decades of the police, you know, go and do what you know, just have a good time. You don't sit around, you know, like, this is my job. See, I signed on for this. They didn't. They wanted to have nice little cars and stuff. My son had a little thing on his license plate. The one that dies with the most toys win. I said, boy, I said, so there's no sense in trying to make him do nothing because that's just that. He's telling you what he think. And they used to take them nice shirts, cost I don't know how much money. And they would wear them once or twice, and they would throw them away. And then I would go and pick them up. And I would wear them. All my workout clothes. They would take a feline, with all the puff in it. And I took one. My son's finally was getting dirty, my youngest son. So I threw it in the washing machine. I said, I washed your coat for you. He said, Dad, all the puff is gone. You know what he said, the puff is gone. I used that for years around here. Y'all might have seen me put it on, a blue feline coat, light blue, dark blue together. You know, I use it to work out with. And I used to use it to dress, you know, till it got real old. I mean, like 10 or 15 years old. Why? Because the one that dies with the most toys wins. I said, there's no sense in me trying to, you know, elevate you or educate you. I just now will keep you alive. And they did, they're alive. And my daughters, that's a special case. It would be easier to manipulate a person with daughters because the man's job is to protect his daughter. That's the way you feel. Sons, you know, you're going to look out for them, but you're not like daughters. So it's perfect. The government got them covered, right? Yeah. They don't have, they're not touching me at all. That's about his job, right? And they distanced and they made sure, perfect. So that's why I can be the way I am, because I don't have no, you know what I mean? Now, back to family and going to California. This stuff about, they're doing the old 1, 2, 3, Abdul Malik, Hashim and all that. So my relatives are here. They split them, and those two teams are at each other's throat. And they're going to surround me and get me involved. I said, y'all is crazy. You know, ain't nobody ain't falling for that. It's too evident. It's just right there. It's right there. So that's the point number one about relatives. But we have to have a cloaking device. Remember I talked about cloaking device before? Cloaking device, you know, the big Star Trek ships. They got a cloaking device. Now, of course, remember, when you're a Negro fighting against a big, you have the opportunity to make things up a lot. A cloaking device technically doesn't exist yet, at least to hide something that big. But a cloaking device, psychologically, can hide your real mobile intentions. Since you think you can, you do it. So we have a cloaking device. We have one. We have been had one. All this stuff about discombobulation and whooping the white man, we done slap boss man around so much it's not even, it's like, it's not a challenge anymore. What does that mean? He's at the end of the line. He's just, he's not doing you gotta stay out of his way or he'll fall on you. Okay, look at the politics. Look at China, Russia, everybody. The stuff on TV, he can't keep it together anymore. He can't keep nothing together. It's all over. Okay? With it being all over, you may not believe it, but it's something wrong, not something wrong with the Negro. We still want to help the cracker, just like the South Africans. It's not wrong with the Negro, it's something right with the Negro. That's the way I look at it. Okay. No, here's the thing. All that stuff we talk about love and future and all of that stuff is good. Why? Because it removes a burden from you. It removes a burden from you. And although I'm a little tired of trying to convince white folks of that, you know, you just have to go on about, you know, if it come to them to do the right thing, it would be nice, but it's not historically common. You know what I mean? If you read Quran, if you read history, empires do not have a big meeting and then say, well, we've been doing wrong. We're going to try to do as much right as we can to save ourselves. I think one case, what was it, the people of Nineveh? Yeah, that's it. Nineveh. Romans didn't do it. Nobody, we saw the Persians didn't do it. The Persians been up and down over the last few thousand years. Way up, come down a little, come back up. Gulibatu room.